the brilliance of Blake Lively. I don't think people realize how involved she was in this movie. She was extremely involved, and she really made the film better. And
Lively could have chemistry with a rock. It could have been just a tree, and there would have been chemistry. And it'd be like, oh my God, the tree did so good with Blake.
That's a compliment, Blake. That is
she's that talented. So I take no credit for
directing myself. A lot of that had to do with,
This isn't just gossip. It's a Hollywood takedown. New legal docs prove Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds allegedly weaponized rumors to destroy Jane the Virgin star Justin Baldoni. And what's unfolding now could rewrite the rules of celebrity feuds forever. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's golden couple.
Teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen that? That shouldn't be happening, by the way.
Put me in any clothes and give me any words and have me step in and transform. And I used to be very insecure about that. I used to feel like an imposter because I would watch actors who were just shapeshifters. They could do it in any circumstance.
Unfortunately, regardless of how famous you are in Hollywood, you have no choice over which attorney deposes you or not. Blake Lively's learning the hard way that court is not Hollywood. I'm sorry, come again? You don't get to, this isn't a Colleen Hoover movie. You don't get to pick and choose who you have to work with and who you don't. Sorry, Blake, but your dragons don't work here.
And so people just know this behind the scenes. You should just know that she is a bit of a brat, okay?
My nose is so big.
I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late.
My money is on Blake Lively being wrong.
As if I was Ryle and the things that Ryle experienced in his life. And I had to create, as an example, the trauma that happened to him. I had to recreate that for my...
I'm your host, and we're diving deep into Baldoni's explosive new evidence. Texts, emails, and behind-the-scenes bombshells that expose a chilling playbook of lies, manipulation, and PR warfare. By the end of this video, you'll see why this case isn't just about fat-shaming, it's about power. Let's start with the rumor that started the war. Blake Lively claimed Justin Baldoni fat-shamed her by secretly contacting her trainer to demand she lose weight in 2 weeks after giving birth. Heartbreaking, right?
Primarily, people don't like to work with Blake Lively. I can also tell you personally, back when I was an intern at Glamour magazine, working under an editor, she said the most difficult person that she has ever worked with and the rudest person that she had ever worked with was Blake Lively.
She's now made multiple attempts to gag Justin Baldoni and his attorney, now wants the case dismissed, and now is fighting back against a deposition.
So basically, we do see gag orders in cases, typically in criminal cases, because the stakes are so much higher, and that's to protect the criminal defendant, because under the Sixth Amendment of the United States, the defendant has a right to a fair trial, and the prosecution's release of information about the allegations in the criminal complaint can, taint a jury pool. I don't see that here, particularly since she is the one who has gone out there so publicly herself.
But here's the twist. Blake's team introduced Baldoni to that trainer. Texts from March 2022 reveal Baldoni messaging the trainer. "Hey Blake, Justin Baldoni here. We're working on this film. Let's chat about prep." Blake's response? "He's amazing. So excited for you two to connect." Wait, if this trainer was so secret, why did Blake greenlight the collab? Even wilder, this trainer wasn't just some rando. He's Ryan and Blake's personal friend, a celeb fitness guru who's posted Instagram tributes to them for years. Baldoni's legal team argues this trainer was always loyal to Blake, and that's why he allegedly twisted Baldoni's words. Picture this. Baldoni asks the trainer, "Can I realistically lift Blake for this scene? My back's been acting up." The trainer tells Blake, "Justin's worried you're too heavy." Whisper down the lane chaos. But here's the kicker. The script did include a scene where Baldoni's character carries Blake. Page 47 shows it plain as day. He lifts her, blood dripping as they collapse onto the bed. So why did Blake claim the scene never existed? Baldoni's docs allege Ryan Reynolds demanded it be cut after the fat-shaming drama erupted. Which brings us to...
And find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just to force all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together, although that sounds terrible. I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully.
Imagine you're Justin Baldoni. You're rehearsing a scene, and suddenly Ryan Reynolds bursts in, screaming, "How dare you talk about my wife's weight?" That's exactly what Baldoni's complaint describes. But here's what Blake's lawsuit forgot to mention. Ryan wasn't even supposed to be there. He allegedly showed up unannounced, accused Baldoni of toxic behavior, and threatened to burn the set down if the scene wasn't axed. Crew members backed Baldoni's account in sworn statements, calling Ryan's outburst unhinged and career-threatening. And it gets darker. Texts show Ryan later texting Baldoni, "We're family, man. Let's fix this over dinner." But Baldoni's team claims this was a trap. When Justin showed up, Ryan allegedly ambushed him with demands: apologize publicly, scrap the scene, or face total annihilation. But why would Ryan go nuclear over a single scene? Because Blake's reputation as Hollywood's relatable mom was at stake. Post-body sham, Angie rumors, her team reportedly panicked about her St. Blake image, especially with her new wellness brand launching. This wasn't about justice. It was about damage control. Now let's talk about the evidence that changes everything. In one text, Baldoni calls Blake's trainer a damn spy. A phrase Blake's lawyers framed as bullying. But the full context: Baldoni had just learned the trainer was leaking their private gym chats to Ryan. For example, the trainer told Ryan about Baldoni joking, "I need to hit the weights harder if I'm lifting Blake all day." Ryan allegedly spun this as, "Justin called my wife fat." But Baldoni's legal docs include a video of the trainer admitting, "I might have misrepresented his tone." Even wilder, the trainer's contract with Blake and Ryan required him to share concerning comments from co-stars. Baldoni's team argues this was a setup, a way to manufacture toxicity claims if anyone criticized Blake. And it worked. After Baldoni called the trainer a spy, Blake's lawsuit cited it as proof of harassment. But here's the question nobody's asking. Why would Baldoni text Blake calling her trainer a spy? If he was actually trying to bully her, wouldn't he hide it? This screams of a man who knew he'd been framed. Next up, Blake's claim that Baldoni used a gut health coach to body shame her. Let's break this down.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence.
Talking like this, me into my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges, because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening, and all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together, and I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and I think it does come from the both of us being hardworking and having a vision and not settling.
Tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, "Oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can." This is a horrible thing to say. I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me.
After Blake got strep throat, Baldoni, who's big into fitness, connected her with a specialist to help rebuild her gut post-antibiotics. Texts show Blake thanking him. "She's incredible. Deeply grateful." But months later, Blake's lawsuit called this a scheme, claiming the doctor was a weight loss specialist. Why? Because the doctor's intake form asked about Blake's BMI. Let me repeat. A standard medical form became proof of fat shaming. Baldoni's team fired back with emails from the doctor clarifying, BMI is routine for gut health. It's not a weight loss focus. Even Blake's own nutritionist testified, BMI tracking is normal for post-illness care. So why did Blake twist this? Baldoni's lawyers argue it's part of a pattern. Take normal interactions, spin them as toxic, and weaponize the media. Case in point. When Blake praised Baldoni as the most supportive collaborator in April 2022, her team later claimed it was sarcasm. Now let's dissect Ryan Reynolds' role. Publicly, he's the funny Deadpool dad. Privately, Baldoni's docs paint him as a puppet master. After the set blow-up, Ryan allegedly bombarded Baldoni with family guilt trips. Text from Ryan, "Our kids play together, man. Don't make this ugly." Another, "Think about Blake's mental health. She's fragile." But Baldoni's team claims these were threats in disguise.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's, I got snot coming out of my nose.
And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is, I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just pissed me off. Those that I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already, like, I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. And I just haven't had a chance to send it to you.
A way to silence him without leaving a paper trail. The darkest reveal? Ryan allegedly used his daughters as leverage. Per Baldoni's complaint, when Justin refused to apologize, Ryan casually mentioned his kids' work, asking why Uncle Justin's being mean to mommy. Emotional blackmail 101. And here's the kicker. Ryan's team reportedly offered Baldoni a peace treaty. Stay quiet and they'd greenlight his future projects. When Baldoni refused, Blake's lawsuit dropped days later. Coincidence? Blake's lawsuit hinges on a lie. She claims Baldoni invented a lifting scene to justify fat shaming.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But that I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and I'm really sorry.
But Baldoni's evidence includes 3 script drafts with the scene intact, and an email from Blake herself approving it. Dated February 2022, Blake writes, The carrying scene is vulnerable and raw. Let's make it iconic. So why'd she flip? Baldoni's team alleges Blake grew insecure during filming and demanded cuts. When the director refused, she and Ryan allegedly created the fat-shaming narrative to force edits. Even the cinematographer backed Baldoni. Blake loved the scene until Ryan got involved. This week, Baldoni's team dropped a 30-page amended complaint, and it's a masterpiece of receipts. Key highlights. Email 1. Blake's team begging Baldoni to soften his legal language for her public image. Text 2. Ryan's producer threatening to leak Baldoni's divorce drama if he didn't back down. Doc 3. A Studio XX testimony that Blake orchestrated the trainer leak. But the most damning? A recording of Blake admitting, "I overreacted about the weight stuff." Baldoni's team claims she said this during a private Zoom call, which Blake's lawyers argue was illegally obtained. Here's why this matters. If A-listers like Blake and Ryan can fabricate rumors to crush co-stars, what happens to the rest of Hollywood?
A lot of it's my real life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which
except
one?
it's just,
Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
Baldoni's case could expose the industry's dirtiest secret, the crisis PR loophole that lets stars weaponize lawsuits as reputation shields. And we're already seeing the fallout. Gossip forums are flooded with, "Did you hear Blake did this to another co-star?" rumors. Brands are quietly distancing from Ryan's liquor company. This isn't a scandal, it's a reckoning. If you're still watching, you're part of this now. Blake and Ryan's team monitor videos like this to adjust their narrative. So smash that thumbs up, subscribe with notifications on, and stay loud. Tomorrow we're revealing the other A-listers using these tactics. Names that'll shock you. Remember, in Hollywood the truth isn't just buried, it's censored. But not here. Stay hungry.